E360 TV proudly presents messages of inspirational stories. Live streaming now to millions of devices, including Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, with your host, Donna Guinois, producer and host, Jim Grant, producer and host, along with Michaela Vidal, administrator and host, and Gaia Guinois Balconi Wada, editor-in-chief. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're so excited to be here with you today. There's just so much wonderful things going on. We've been very, very richly blessed. But before we go any further, let me stop right here and say, all you good folks down there in Florida and going to be up that eastern seaboard there through Savannah, Georgia, and up through there in the path of Hurricane Ian, we hope. And we want you to know you're in our thoughts and our prayers, because we have part of our TV family down there. Emerson Brantley, our director of marketing, is there. He lives in Jacksonville. And of course, Charlene Fouts, she lives there in Florida as well. And so we're very much concerned. We got a lot of family and friends down there. And so you're definitely in our thoughts and our prayers, because it's very important for us to reach out and remember those that are in harm's way like that. We pray for their safety. And I've got a whole bunch of friends down there, that I can name, but, time is not permitted of it. But just rest assured, when we pray for them and keep them in our thoughts and prayers, every single one that we think of is automatically included in that. We are proudly brought to you by our good friend, The 7 Levels of Truth by Mr. Bill Heinrich. It seems like I always get that light goofed up when I do this. Good help's hard to find. The 7 Levels of Truth is a direct path to your life purpose. That's Mr. Bill right there. He's a personal friend of ours here at the station, and we're so glad to be able to share that with you folks. Bill is family. We do not get paid for that endorsement, so be sure and just check it out. And also too, you can tell Bill I said this, and I'm sure he will be honored. If you would like a 30-minute consultation with Mr. Bill Heinrich on finding clarity in your life, be sure and get in touch with him. He will be glad to give you a 30-minute complimentary consultation on helping you find, what's holding you back. Because Bill says there's only 2 basic, and others say this too, but there's only 2 basic emotions. There is fear and there is love. And fear is all physical. Love is where you need to be, because you're so rich. You richly deserve. You have the right to be loved and to love others. It's a privilege. It's an honor. And Bill would be very, very happy to work with you. Also, Donna Guinois. Donna is unavailable today, as well as, Michaela's on maternity leave. And of course, the thing down there in Florida, the hurricane. So they says, hey, Jim, it's up to you. I said, okay. But Donna will also give you a 30-minute complimentary consultation on what's blocking your energy. Donna, I think if you watched the show, her story. She went to the doctor and found out she had MS. And the very same day after she left that doctor's office, she had to go over and schedule her first one of 3 brain surgery, because she had a big aneurysm behind her right eye. And the first one was exploratory to see how big it is. Second one was to do the repair. And the third one was to see if it was repaired. And so we want to keep her in our thoughts and prayers, because she's been working real hard. But Donna will be more than happy to help you find out what's blocking your energy. She narrows it down to a person, a place, a thing, or a combination of the 3. And we're also very, very blessed and honored. And we want to thank all you good folks out there in TV land, and all the folks that's spreading the good news about what we're doing with our new fall season. Each day is a different program. On Mondays, we have Making a Difference. That show is totally focused on entrepreneurs, sharing information. We're going to be bringing in people who are entrepreneurs who can share tidbits and also provide complimentary training for you. On Tuesdays, oh my goodness gracious, we're very, very proud of our Tuesdays. We've been doing a lot. That Tuesdays is Finding Health Naturally. And we've been working with Dr. Claire Phil there in Reno, Nevada, and my good friend, Joel Peterson. You've probably seen him, the guy at the long beard. We call him the Beard of Knowledge. I'm doing a play on that from the Pawn Stars. But that show is dedicated to finding out about herbs, natural cures, and things that can help you enhance your life. Because in recent studies, we have seen that after World War I and after the Spanish flu hit in 1918, people started to migrate towards eating processed foods inside the house, and rather than cook everything from scratch the way it's always been done. So starting to consume processed foods, guess what started as the processed food intake started going up? Guess what else started going up? Heart disease. They go hand in hand. So that's the reason why we want to really focus in on that, because yours truly here, I had a heart attack and open heart surgery last year with 4 bypasses. So you might say I've got some skin in the game in that thing. Wednesdays, oh my goodness gracious, it's Youth Making a Difference. This is a twofold show. We're going to be sharing stories about young people who have either started a business, they started a cause or a nonprofit because they saw a need in society that wasn't being met. And we're also going to be bringing in mentors who have helped mentored youth. And we're going to take a look at a little bit about because our guest today could not be with us, but we're going to take a look today about how you can be a mentor, what some of the benefits are, because our young people, they're in dire need of mentorship, because looking at the cell phone all the time and playing games and texting, they are losing their social skills. And right now we're in communication with some youth organizations that are going to be on our show in the future. We're very excited about that. And I was told, don't say anything yet till we have everything complete. That's okay, I won't. Tomorrow, we're going to have a young lady on. I've been really wanting to have this young lady on the show for months. The title is Pets We Love. Her and her husband, MamaMo Klosowski. I think I mispronounced her name correctly. She'll correct me tomorrow. But she's going to be on our show. Her and her husband raise these red pit bulls. And they're their babies. I mean, they just don't sell a dog. They're not a puppy mill or anything like that. You got to meet their standard to get one of their pups. And her dogs have been in movies. And she's going to share something very important too. She's going to share how pit bulls get a bad rap. Now, for us baby boomers, I remember growing up in the 50s, being a kid in the 50s. I really liked watching The Little Rascals. And it was a fun show. Remember Petey, the dog had the circle around one of his eyes, like his left eye or maybe his right eye. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Petey was a pit bull. So it just goes to show you that our pets are a true reflection of what they receive from us. Friday, you're in for a treat. We got our good friend Deb Lewis. She's a former commander for the VFW for the state of Hawaii. She's going to be here on Friday, so we're very excited about that. And we've just got so many, many things to be thankful for. And one thing that I like to encourage you to do when you wake up in the morning, give thanks that you got heartbeat in your veins and breath in your lungs. And say, no matter what's facing me today, I'm going to face it. If it's a mistake or something that I did wrong, I'm going to own it. And I'm going to ask forgiveness if it's, appropriate. But I'm going to own it. I'm going to drive on. And most importantly, I'm going to forgive myself for making that mistake. And before we get into a few things today, I'd like to share with you today is the National Self-Awareness Day. And it's so important for us to be aware of ourselves as far as, knowing your limitations, knowing what you're good at, And like one of the youth organizations we're talking to that's going to be on the show, they teach youth, don't try to be the best, just try to be the best you. Because all of us have different gifts and talents. And it's just amazing how when we come out and we want to be aware of ourselves, and that means to love yourself. And it means to love others, because you can't give anything that you do not own or possess. And when it comes to having self-awareness, it means to appreciate the things in life that money cannot buy and no thief can ever steal. And that is your family, your friends, your health, the love you have for one another, the love you have for your pets. It's a wonderful, wonderful time to be able to take inventory of yourself and give thanks. Also, as we're covering a lot of we will be covering a lot of this on Tuesdays with our Finding Health Naturally program. But today is the National Day for Women's Health and Fitness Day. And everybody, I think, male and female both, we've really kind of like mushrooming up here in the last 20 years or so on, taking a look at our health, how to improve our health, how to understand what's going on in our bodies. And it's not just about taking a pill and losing weight and you're fine. As we found out from a couple of shows with Dr. Clearfield and Joel Peterson, it's all about your hormones and being out of balance. And when you're out of balance, you're not healthy, you're not happy. So that's one of the things it's really important to take a note. And if you've been procrastinating about taking a look at that and, taking care of your health and all that, I mean, please, please, please don't put it off, because that's extremely important. And it means the world to you and to your family and friends. And also, too, we want to do a little something special. If you by chance have a person in your life, now I'm not talking about love letters here, okay? If you have a person in your life that has done something special and you'd like for us to give them a shout out here on the TV show, all you have to do is email us there. You see it on the marquee, inspiration@e360tv.com. And in the subject, just put shout out. And just use first name, last initial only, and just a brief, paragraph there of why you want to give that person a shout out. And put your first name and last initial only. And that's the way we will read it on the TV show. And no matter where you're at in the world, I can't speak any other language than English. So, I don't know about the rest of the crew here, but anyway, this way here, when we do the shout out, that a viewer wanted us to give a shout out for somebody, we will do that early on within the first 3 to 5 minutes of every show. And so if you'd like to take advantage of that and then let someone know, hey, I gave you a shout out on this TV show, you can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on our website. Our website, if you just type in ourtvshow.live. We don't have a website there. That's a domain name. It redirects just ourtvshow.live. It will redirect you to our webpage, and all of our shows are recorded there. Also on our YouTube channel, we're simply just do a search there on our YouTube and just look for Messages of Inspirational Stories TV show. And all of our shows are live there, just like we're live here on Facebook Live. And we're also live on all of E360's TV channels. So if you'd like to do that and like to take advantage of that, please do. It's a public service. We don't charge, and we're not going to put you on a mailing list or try to sell you something. So don't worry about that, okay? But when it comes to our young people, as I mentioned earlier, my goodness gracious, we know so many kids are sitting there and they have their I got my cell phone plugged in. It's almost dead. They got their cell phones there and they're looking at it all the time. They're texting one another and all that. But the problem with that is that they lose and do not develop their social skills. I had to laugh. There's a real funny comedian by the name of Brad Upton, BRADUPTON, bradupton.com, I think is his website. And he was saying in Seattle, Washington, he says they're actually running, I don't know how long ago this was, it's a few years ago, I think. But he said they were actually at one time had to run a commercial saying, you cannot text 911. You must call it and speak to the operator. He says, and I wish I was making that up. So I'm thinking that when he said that I followed Brad a little bit. I think he would not just say that just to be saying it, but a lot of young kids, they don't really know how to communicate. You see, in developing our personal skills, our social skills, our ability to talk, we need someone out there to mentor those young kids. Think in your own life. Did I have mentors growing up? Sure, I did. I never will forget Mrs. Jewel Blanton, my fourth grade teacher. When they named that lady Jewel, that was the perfect first name for her. She was so kind and so loving and so patient with me. And I will always have a special place in my heart for that precious, dear lady. She was as sweet as they come. And when I was in the military, ladies and gentlemen, I had a staff sergeant by the name of Blaylock. And one day I'd like to see Drill Sergeant Blaylock again. Again, another very kind person. I never heard him curse. I never heard him use a four-letter word. In fact, I never heard him yell at anybody. He'd raise his voice a little bit. But as far as yelling and screaming, and like you normally see a drill sergeant, that was not him. But when he spoke, we knew to listen. He taught me a lot about the military, all of us. And he was a true mentor. So when it comes to being a mentor, we're going to get into some more information about this, because mentoring someone is one component of a program that involves other elements such as tutoring life skills, training and coaching. And young people today, the kids of today, they really need a supportive, healthy relationship that's formed between their mentor and them. Now, their mentor can be an aunt, an uncle, a dad or mom. I mean, sure, hopefully dad and mom's a good mentor for them, but also, might be a school teacher, or like in my case, a school teacher and a drill sergeant of all things. I don't think I've ever heard too many people in the military talk about their drill sergeant being a mentor, but he was. Staff Sergeant Blaylock, he was a true gentleman in the sense of the word. And our respect for him was so high. When he talked, we automatically hushed. He didn't have to give the verbal command at ease, which means stop talking, be quiet. He'd just say, gentlemen, and we just immediately shut up. That's the kind of respect that he earned. He showed us respect and we gave it back to him. That's what we do. We reflect back what we're given. And when it comes to the benefits for mentoring our youth, listen to this. The high school graduation rates increase when they have active mentorship. Working with the youth in a school, they have a higher rate of graduation. Also, the opposite of that is true. The dropout rate is lowered. So that's a tremendous advantage right there. Plus, this is one thing that I think this world needs an abundance of all over the world, because kids now, with the videos that they see on their phones and the games they play, it's, in my opinion, it's just not good. There's no need to sugarcoat it. You cannot show a young person and them see, and they're using it in their brain, because what your eyes see, your brain records, all that violence and all that hatred. That's evilness and wickedness. And that is not good. And there might be some people out there say, oh, this guy's an old fuddy-duddy. Well, so what? Because our young people are our future. When you get old, like I am, you want a young person that, just the only thing they know how to treat you is with a billy club, beat you over the head or something. I'm being a little facetious there, but what I'm saying is that we've got to invest in our kids. We've got to build healthy relationships and encourage them to make lifestyle choices that's beneficial to them. Also, too, whenever they make a mistake, they've got to have a coach there, a mentor there, someone that's supportive that will say, hey, it's okay, you made a mistake. We all make mistakes. But you can't run from that making that mistake. You've got to have the courage to own it. You've got to have the courage to say, I'm sorry, or I was wrong. A lot of people don't like to use, well, I don't like to use the word wrong. But whatever word you're comfortable with, the main thing of it is to own it and to apologize to those that you owe an apology to. And then make a promise to yourself that you will never, as in never, never, ever, ever again, go down that path, because making strong, positive lifestyle choices has a long-term effect, not only on individuals' life, but on everybody's life that they touch. Also, having a mentor, has been proven that they have a better attitude in school. How many teachers would say amen to that? Because a lot of the teachers, they're dealing with children that have horrible attitudes. They don't respect them. They talk back to them and all that. And that's just not right. I wasn't brought up like that. In fact, if they went to our school, they'd probably think, what in the world is this? Is this a prison or a school? But having the better attitude in school, that just everything you reflect is just going to domino on and on and on. If you look at someone, you give them a smile, chances are that smile will be passed on to somebody else because you made that person smile. And when it comes to being in school, what they've also found that this having a positive mentorship in their life, having someone that they can talk to, that they've got a good rapport with, they find out that they advance on the higher levels of education. Some go to college, some go to trade school, some go in the military, whatever. But they have an aspiration to go to the next level. And plus, it enhances their self-esteem and their self-confidence in themselves. And as a result, this reflects in improved behavior, I should say, not only at home, but also at school. It's a win-win situation. It builds, and this is the facts that they have found, and they find that it builds stronger relationships with parents, teachers, and peers. That's what's really needed in this world today, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got too much meanness, ugliness being vomited on society. And we need to realize that we're all family here. We really are. It doesn't matter what nationality we are. It doesn't matter what sex we are. It doesn't matter what color our skin is. We're all brothers and sisters by different mothers. And let's don't cherry pick each other apart where, you're this and you're that. No, that's nonsense. That is absolute nonsense. We need to share with our young people that other people are different than us, and that's okay. But we still love them. We still respect them. And we still, treat them with respect, love, because if we treat them like that, that's what they will give us. And that's what makes the world turn. That's what makes life worth living, doesn't it? It also improves their interpersonal skills. And there's also a decreased likelihood of them taking the wrong path when it comes to drugs and alcohol. Think about people in your life. I can look in the mirror in my life and see where I turned to alcohol one time because I didn't have the support that I needed in my life at that time. As sad as it is to admit it, but at least I've got the courage to own it. And I totally quit drinking January the 1st, 1981. I did an about face and walked away. But if you don't have the support and love that you need in your hour of need, drugs and alcohol seems like an option that might ease the pain. But as we know, that is a dead-end street, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for you being a mentor, it's also a win-win situation for you too, because it's going to increase your self-esteem. Think how you're going to feel when you help a young person, be able to develop the attitude that they can do things, and also they can make the right decision on their own by your simple guidance, By you being a mentor and you setting the standard, it also gives you a tremendous sense of accomplishment. And when you have a network of volunteers who are caught up in being a mentor, oh my goodness gracious, you talk about a joyful bunch to be in the middle of, be part of. It's just tremendous. And it also gives you insight into the younger generation. How many of the older generation says, I don't, and I've been guilty of this, I don't understand that younger generation, and it's just that we just see things we don't really understand. We don't have the proper communication with them either. Let's be honest, okay? Because to help somebody or to converse with somebody, you got to know where they're coming from. I mean, it's just kind of like the old saying, well, you're wrong and I'm right. Well, that's the worst attitude to have on planet Earth. It truly is. Because having an insight into the childhood and adolescent and young adulthood, that will enable you, it will make you wiser. It will also make you more patient to listen. Because having improved patient and improved supervisory skills, that will help you in all walks of your life. And most importantly, you'll learn that you got to be supportive. By far, that is the most important role of a mentor, is to support and encourage young kids and help them when they stumble and fall and make a mistake. Or if they don't feel like, if they get up the bat and they can't hit the home run, they want to hit a home run, they visualize themselves hitting a home run, they strike out. Okay, that can be very devastating for kids, especially when they're the last one picked on the team. And I've got experience in that area too. But particularly as they struggle to overcome obstacles and to solve problems, because many times kids, and all of us, many times in our life, and we're stressed out and we're dealing with difficult situations, difficult problems, we just can't, sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees, And when young people feel down and upset with their families or unhappy in their life, their situations, mentors should be there and be beside them and let them know that no matter what, they can talk about anything and everything is, safe and secure. Of course, as a mentor too, you got to draw that fine line. If depending on what the young person shares with you, you may have a moral obligation to say and be honest with them, say, I really need to let your parents know about this. Because it's, especially if it's something like if a child's going to thinking about committing suicide or something like that, that's big time serious. And so you're going to have to draw a fine line there. But I mean, you've got to be able to be open, honest, and supportive at all times. You've got to be a very active listener. Listen to what they're saying. Ask them questions. Make sure, and one of the best things to do is to repeat back to them, just as I understand what you're telling me, this is what you're seeing, or this is what you're thinking, or whatever it might be. Repeat it back to them. And that will do two things. It will let the young person know that you're listening to them, number one. Number two, it also give you a little time to, a little stall time, because sometimes with kids, we need stall time, right? And that'll give you a little time to think about something and maybe come up with a better answer or maybe have a better advice for them. Because many teens, they've mentioned how little they feel listened to by most adults. Think about that. When they do say something, they feel like they're not being listened to. And sometimes from adults, we might be thinking, there's whatever they say is a bunch of nonsense anyway, But you think about, always remember where we came from. I think back when I was a teenager, how I thought, how I viewed the world. And let's be honest, how fragile I was to the evil things of the world that could easily trip me up and send me down the wrong path if I did not have a strong anchor in my family, which I did. I came from a very rich family. No, we didn't have, I'm not talking about money, but what we were rich in were the things that money could not buy and no thief could ever steal. I had family and friends, I had a community, and people loved me. And I tell people, in a humorous way, but also a truthful way, I didn't know we were poor as far as financial security or money comes until we went to town. And I laugh about it. But the important thing was what I was so richly blessed in. My goodness gracious. Oh, nobody could take that from me. It was mine. And that's what makes it so special. And being a mentor too, you learn how to, in a positive way, challenge a younger person. You push just enough. As parents can attest, most teens don't respond well to being pushed out of their comfort zones. That's not what we're talking about here. But teens really do like to have high expectations set for them. So learn how to challenge them, because what challenge one child will not challenge another child. But it's most importantly, don't feel like that you're pushing them too hard, because you start pushing them out of their comfort zone, they're going to freeze up on you. And they do appreciate. Studies have proven that young people appreciate when their mentors will push them beyond what they may have imagined that they could have actually accomplished. But make sure that you take it in a step-by-step way. Set them up for success. Do not set them up for failure. That's devastating to a young person. Because think back when you were young, when for me, going to school, if I passed the test, yes, but it was an accomplishment in my life. And celebrate those small victories. That's very, very important. And you can do so many things. You can give a shout out to them, like that's what we said earlier on the show. We want to do that. And also, too, you could tell, hey, let me tell you about what this young person accomplished. Way to go. Pat them on the back. Give them a little high five there, Now, some kids are kind of shy. They may not like that. So understanding your kid and knowing what their comfort zone is, how far you can push them, how you can challenge them, and how you can praise them. And also how you can correct them, when I say correct them, you really want to focus in on how you can be able to, share with them a better alternative. That's the best way of putting that. And make sure that you're authentic and that your interest is authentic in that young person. Because teens can tell the difference between adults who are really interested in them for the right reason and those who are just, trying to pretend they're a role model. They can pick up on that, a mile away. And whenever you foster, you have self-decision making. And good mentors don't judge young people at all or impose their own beliefs on them. Okay, that's critical. Because how many parents have wanted I remember growing up, it was common for parents to want their children to go to school, become a doctor or a lawyer or something like this. And most kids were kind of like, bleh, But I mean, it's important for you not to push what you think is right on them. That's where good communication comes in. And that's what makes the world turn there. Instead, remind the teens or the young people who they are and help them believe that they too have special gifts and they have the ability in their own insights to make the right and good choices for them. That's how they get the wins in this life. And that's what we should be encouraging. We should be encouraging that for the go and grow and for them to share that blessings that they're getting there, to share those blessings with others, because this world is anemic for good blessings. We all know that. Knowing that knowing that they're not judged really helps a young person to relax, have confidence. They can start thinking and have the rapport with them where they're not afraid to share their wildest dreams with you. And they may have a desire to be an artist, for example. And you may be coming from a background where you know nothing about artistry. You know nothing about the industry. You don't even know how these people get paid or how much money they get. And don't come right out and say, well, you might want to get a degree in this or that or something other, because you've automatically killed the imagination of that young mind. And you've already told them in an indirect way that no matter what comes up in your mind, if it don't fit my way of thinking, it's taboo. Instead, the best way of handling that and to sit down with the young person and ask about, I'm using artists as an example. How did you get interested in arts? And you want to be a painter, or you want to what is it that you want to do? Because ask them questions, get them talking, and as you build rapport with them and you teach them how to make the right choices for them, let them make the decision for themselves. And just like a parent, you've got to have the courage to be able to help those young people stumble and fall. That's right. I said that right. Because so many times we want to stop them. Oh, don't do that, But sometimes you got to have the courage to step back and knowing that they're going to stumble and fall, but then be there for them and say, there's other alternatives to this, and everybody stumbles and falls. And then share stories about what you've done in your life where you stumble and fall. And for years I thought this way, and I thought this would work, and it turned out to be a train wreck. Oh my goodness! So my heart's with you. I'm with you on that, because you're being honest and you're being authentic, and it's someone that young person can actually relate to. And our time is seeming to slip by here a little quicker. So I'm going to fast forward over into this other program here, and mentoring young people, the essential guide. What does a youth mentor do? Okay. The best thing you can do is help set goals and actionable tasks, and support important applications and life's events in their life. Because as a youth mentor, you're going to be doing some or all of these following things I'm talking about. You offer guidance without difficult decisions. And you check in regularly to monitor their progress. Let them know that you're interested in them. And you support them with their training and their educational purpose in life. Now, I found this interesting over in England. About 25% of families in the UK just have a single parent. And furthermore, there was 100,000 children, if I remember correctly. They were completely cared for, completely away from home. And this is a huge population of the youth over there. And it's just terrible, because they don't get the dedicated love and support they should. And when you become a mentor, whether you plan to become a teacher, or whatever it might be, the mentorship, it's just amazing, because in their studies over there in England, they have found that as I said before, they're more likely to attend school. Here's the big one that I wanted to point out from this article. It has a significant impact on crime. I think we all can say we've got enough crime for two or three lifetimes. But the article talks about how mentorship can take young people from crime, poverty, into becoming a more productive citizen. We've known, you've heard about people who grew up in a poor place, poverty-stricken neighborhood, crime, rampant, but yet they made the decision, and they had good role models and good mentors somewhere, and they were able to say, this is not me. This may be where I was born, this may be where I was raised, but this is not where I'm going to live my life. And it's a decision. They have the right to make that decision. And if you're a mentor there and you're helping them along the way and supporting them along the way and, encouraging them along the way, think about what a positive effect that would have, not just on that one person, but on countless others, to be able to reduce and have a significant impact on crime. We don't normally think about that when we think about mentors. Because if youth's going to make a difference, we've got to be able to help them make the right decisions to make a difference. And I can't think of anything more positive and strong than reducing crime through educating our young people, through supporting our young people, through helping our young people, and being there for them as a true mentor, whether it be a parent, whether it be, a relative or a good friend or whatever. And it just really impresses me today how much power that a mentor can have in someone's life. I'll guarantee you, I know that, I imagine that Staff Sergeant Blaylock is dead and gone, and I hope one day to see him again. I believe I will. And I doubt very seriously if someone would tell him, hey, did you know when Jim Grant was a private in basic training at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, that he looked up to you as a mentor? He would go, what? Because it's amazing how kids can look up to us, or younger people can look up to us and be a mentor without saying it. And it's all because of our actions and our deeds, how we demonstrate our life. That's extremely important. And when it comes to, I'm going to talk about 3 areas here: education, for a mentor. And students who meet regularly with their mentors, they are 52% less likely than their peers to skip a day of school. How positive is that? And they're also 37% less likely to skip a class. And young adults who face the opportunity gap but have a mentor are 55% more likely to be enrolled in a higher education, either college or trade school or something of this nature. That's pretty powerful, isn't it? That's pretty powerful evidence. And that covers the education. But in the daily life, listen to this about mentorships. 45% less. These kids are 45% less likely than their peers to start using illegal drugs and 27% less likely to start drinking. And those facts and figures come from a great organization called Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Think about that. If you could just be a mentor, you've got a 46% chance of helping one kid stay away from drugs. 46%. We wish that percentage was higher, but hey, 46%? That means out of 100 kids that's on the pathway down to maybe fall in and start using illegal drugs because of peer pressure or whatever, 46 out of that 100 can be pulled back and rescued from that because they have a mentor there that is shared with them, the importance of making the right decision for them, the young person making them. And 81% of these young adults, they are more likely to participate regularly in sports or any extracurricular activities than those that don't. Earlier in the broadcast, I talked about these kids who sit there and they just look at their phones all the time. And I do the same thing. I'm as guilty as they are. We all are. We look at our phones, and we're texting this, and oh, that popped up. Okay, what's this here? I got to. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting to look at that. But when it becomes a lifestyle, you lose these social skills. You lose the ability that you're to communicate, and that is just the way that we're wired. So that's another big advantage right there. And in career choices, my goodness gracious. Mentors can also help young people set realistic step-by-step career goals that they can reach and take the steps to realize that, they have the ability to do it. And if it comes to pass, great. If something goes wrong, okay. You always make the list of what went well and the lessons learned. What went well and lessons learned. That's always important. Because whenever you help young people in their personal life, you're going to help them in their professional life. It has a domino effect. And we got about 10 minutes, about 12 minutes left. I want to get over here real quickly. How can you start a mentor? If you're interested and you say, hey, we could do something with our kids. Parents get together. Okay. You can go to mentoring.org, 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 and /resource and training. And here they've got several different parts that's very beneficial. It's free topics for mentors. That part 1, it talks about how to use appropriate physical contact, relationship monitoring requirements, response time, and money spent on the youth and their activities. They cover a whole bunch of things, approved activities, but topics. This is part 2. The topics that mentors can use, that they teach you how to set up a mentorship. You and one other person want to be a mentor for some small kids in your neighborhood, in your family, or whatever, or a combination of both. Some of the topics they teach you is about discipline, substance abuse, firearms and weapons, inclusion of others in the mentorship meetings, such as siblings and friends. And also it includes people that are maybe different than they are. Maybe they belong to a different religion. Maybe they have different colored skin. So what? We're all human beings. We're all brothers and sisters, by different mothers. And that's something that kids need to learn early. And they talk here about photo and image use and evaluation and use of the data. And they also train you in how to handle grievances and other program-related topics. These folks are subject matter experts in this. And I'm just going to be hitting the highlights here because our time is running short. And topics for youth and parent guardians. The purpose of mentoring, they teach you. The program requirements. The parent and guardian mentee goals for mentoring. And so they're going to teach you or share with you the information you need to set realistic goals, okay? They will teach you about your obligations and your roles. They will also teach you about how to get the youth to understand their obligations and their roles in this mentorship program. This is very important. They're going to talk about ethics and safety, initiating the relationship, effective closure, risk management policies. And for parents and guardians includes developing an effective working relationship with your child's mentor. That's very important. And they go on to cover other topics like creative, effective trainings. This is think or write individually. That's very critical. How to pair up and participate in group discussions, and how to do a group write, how to draw, sing, and just all role play, just all sorts of wonderful things. And like I say, this website is mentoring.org, mentoring.org. In fact, I'm just going to, if I think I got time, I think I can do this real quickly. I'll copy it right here on the screen here, and I'll make a marquee real quick. It's going to take me just a couple of moments here, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a one-band operation here. Create a banner here, and let's see here. I'm going to put it right here. And let's see here. Let's see how, see how that looks. And where'd it go? Oh, there it is. There it is. Mentoring.org /resource/training. That was the information I just shared with you. You can go there because if you or two or three others decide, hey, we'd like to be proactive with our youth. We've heard these great numbers, how we can keep kids in school, improve their attitudes. We can help them, make the right choice. We've got a 46% chance of keeping them from, using or falling prey to illegal drugs from peer pressure. A lot of it's peer pressure. And that takes courage for a kid. It takes courage for a kid to say no to their peers because they don't want to be laughed at. They want to be accepted. Well, make sure as a mentor, they're accepted and they're very safe and secure with you, because we all crave. I don't care if you're as old as I am and as ugly as I am, or if you're 10 or 20, whatever it might be. We all need to be loved. We all crave to be safe and secure. We have that right. That's a universal right to each and every person. And I don't care who they are, whether it's a government or any individual, they do not have the right to reach in and steal that from you. They just don't. They may think they do, but they don't, because you have every right to love yourself and love others. And ladies and gentlemen, we're just about running out of time here. I wanted to make sure, please check out that mentoring.org /resource/training, or you might know of someone that would be interested, would be a good person. Say, hey, you've been wanting to do something, let's try this, a mentorship program. Let's see how it works. Let's study it. Let's see if it's a good fit for us. Make sure when you take it on that you're committed. You may also get in touch with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters organization. They've been out that a long time. They can give you, in other words, get as much advice as you can. Get the mastermind principle going for you. My goodness, this show is almost gone. I hope I've said something encouraging for you. But please, again, if you would like to give a personal shout out to someone that you love, family, friend, doesn't matter, just send us an email here at our email address. Our staff will get it. We got a whole bunch of banners here. Let me find it. There it is. Our email address, ladies and gentlemen, is inspiration@e360tv.com. And in the subject line, just put shout out and just say, I'd like to give a shout out to Catherine M. And Catherine, whatever you want to say that she did for you, that you just want to say, hey, I love you, I thank you, I appreciate you, and all those things. And, it's just your first name, last initial, and that's it, because we will mention first name and just the last initial only on the air. And send it to us if you would, please. We'll be glad to give a shout out to your friend, your family, your loved one. And ladies and gentlemen, our time is just about all gone. We're so excited about this new fall program because it's generated a lot of interest. We're going to have some very interesting people. Tomorrow we're going to have Monique Klosowski on here with her pups. And her dogs have been in some movies, so that's going to be interesting for us. But making a difference in business on Monday. Finding health naturally on Tuesdays. Youth making a difference on Wednesday. We're going to be covering not only what we did today with mentors and sharing stories and having mentors come on, but also we're going to be talking about young people. We want to find some young entrepreneurs out there who have started a cause, who have started a nonprofit, who have started a business. Please, please, please get in touch with us. We'd love to have those young people on this show. And of course, Thursday's Pets We Love. Oh, if you got a cute video of your pet, not one that's 10 minutes long, but a short video, make sure it's an MP4 format so we can upload it into the studio, plug and play right on the TV show, because we all love our animals. And women in leadership. This is a wonderful time for ladies to have a stage to talk about, encourage other ladies, especially young. We've been talking about mentorship. Well, that's a wonderful place, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow. We're looking forward to be with MamaMo Klosowski. I think I mispronounced her name 3 times correctly today. She'll correct me. But we're going to hear her stories about her love for her dogs, how all this came together. Most importantly, look in a mirror and be a mentor to yourself. Learn how to love yourself. Learn how to forgive the things that you haven't been able to do yet, or you put off or procrastinated or whatever. It's okay. So what? Forgive yourself. We all have to forgive ourselves of things every day. I'm no exception. I do too. But most importantly, love yourself first. Then you can love others. And as Donald likes to say, give yourself grace. because many times we're harder on ourselves than we are on other people. And bless your heart, just enjoy life. Life is so short. It's so precious. It's so special. There's only one you, and you only have one life. Give thanks. Be joyful. Love it. Live it. And share your life with others. Thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you so much. Be sure to remember, be sure and send us, if you'll give a shout out to a friend or loved one, let us know. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.